Welcome back to Blockchain Pill. My name is Alex, and today we'll watch another Dominic Williams interview. And actually, this video, I think it's a pretty good interview that Dominic did with Cointelegraph, actually. And for some reason, it only has 2.6 thousand views. I would consider this to be a hidden gem. I'm really happy to catch this video so early. I promise you it's a good video. I watched it a couple of times before. There is a lot of hidden gems in what Dominic is talking about in here. So this video is quite recent. It only came out 6 months ago. So yeah, let's give it a go. Let's like the video before we watch it and see what it's about.
So we're here with Cointelegraph Middle East, interviewing one of the legends in the industry, Dominic from Dfinity Foundation. Super excited to have him here. Wanted to find out what you're up to in Crypto Valley and what's going on over there.
I came to give this talk build on the internet and talk about the internet computer. So the internet computer is designed to extend the internet from being a public network that connects everybody and everything to also being the platform that we build on. And the intention is that the internet itself can act as an open alternative to traditional technology like Amazon Web Services, databases, web servers, that kind of thing. And you build on the internet computer using something called canister smart contracts. And today, for example, there are mass market social media services running off the internet computer, which hosts all the content, processes the content, but they're often fully tokenized because it's a blockchain technology. There are key differences. So for example, when you build on the internet computer, you don't need a firewall. So you've got these mass market internet services, which often process crypto, but there's no security team, there's no firewall, and they can also run under the control of a DAO, like the genuine full control of a DAO, where the software updates to the smart contracts are actually going through the DAO itself.
Yeah, so great point here by Dominic. If you build directly on chain, the risk of getting hacked goes to basically zero. You don't need a firewall. This in itself is already solving a lot of problems. But on top of that, on the Internet Computer Protocol, by tokenizing a dApp, you can run it as a DAO. An Internet Computer has a built-in system for automatic DAOs. It's called the SNS. I think on the Internet Computer Protocol right now, there are over 10 SNS DAOs, completely decentralized dApps. By owning those tokens, you have a say in what's going to happen with the dApp that you are a token holder of.
When did you guys launch, and what's the plans going forward from here now?
Well, it's taken, it feels like a lifetime. It's not that long. The project started in 2015 in pursuit of this world computer vision. The world computer phrase was first used in late 2014, 2015. And it actually took us until May 2021 to transition into, production. And so we've been running for 2 years.
Cool.
So how the Internet Computer Protocol was born, I remember Dominic Williams talking in another interview that we'll cover hopefully in this series in the future. Internet Computer is what Ethereum was supposed to become, but Ethereum had already gotten a lot of traction. So changing the whole infrastructure of Ethereum became very difficult. So the Internet Computer Protocol then became a project of its own.
What type of devs are on the system now? Is there any sort of thematics that are being built on there? Is it gaming, AI?
Well, the thing to remember is the Internet Computer is a kind of giant virtual computer that is part of the internet. And it's got these kind of multi-chain capabilities. And we see the world computer as the internet computer, plus other blockchains like Bitcoin and Ethereum. But it is a virtual computer, and a computer is a general purpose device. Nonetheless, we're early in the life cycle. So while in the future, we believe that enterprises are going to choose to build on the internet computer en masse, at the moment it's entrepreneurs. And for a bunch of reasons, the technology involved that would support DeFi and internet computer has come about more recently. So it's mainly sort of social media, Web3 social media services. So for example, there's a very cool service called Hot or Not, which is like a tokenized TikTok.
Yeah.
You've seen it?
Yeah, I've seen it. It's really good.
It's cool, right?
Don't tell my wife though.
Yeah, okay. I think the content moderation is still struggling a bit, but what's cool about it is you can bet hot tokens on whether the video is hot or not.
Yeah.
I started with 1,000. I've got like 1,700 or something now. And the users that create viral content get rewarded with hot tokens. You can also get hot tokens by helping with moderation.
Yeah.
And so it's a really good example of what's possible. When you build on the internet computer using crypto technology. And it's about to transition into full decentralization, which means that the developers are going to give up their backdoor keys, if you like. They used to update hot or not. And a control will be assigned to a DAO, a public DAO. It's got a special kind of DAO. It's got a service nervous system. And this can manage a running service. And at that point, the developers will become part of the hot or not community, and hot or not really become a DAO. And, it'll be governed by, I think, minimally tens of thousands, very possibly hundreds of thousands of people. And at that point, you sort of really realize certain kinds of advantages where, the user community becomes a kind of owner. Many of them become founders, by contributing to the success of the Web3 service, by creating, viral content, by moderating content, by referring other users. They gain hot tokens. They gain a role in governance, and the governance itself is completely transparent. There's no company in control. There's no person in control. And I think that's really the future we're going to see emerging in coming years.
When this video came out 6 months ago, I remember seeing this exact fragment right here when he was talking about the decentralization by launching the hot or not token. And I didn't really pay that much attention 6 months ago. Look at us now, like 6 months later, we already have over 10. I think there is 13 decentralized apps on the Internet Computer Protocol, fully decentralized DAOs. So it's really nice to kind of see this video again. Now that we know this concept is working, we can see it in action on the Internet Computer Protocol.
You've got a background in gaming. Obviously, if we want more adoption in crypto, we need a lot more Web3 gaming companies to come through and bring more new users. What about gaming in Dfinity?
I did create one game. It was apart from crypto, it was the hardest thing I ever did in my life. I got into this thing and I thought, I'm going to do this game. It's going to be a massively multiplayer on game. And in 6 months, I'll be done. I'll have, got all these users. And I did get to 3 million users eventually, but I think it took like 2009 to like 2012 kind of thing. It was and it's a very competitive space, as you say. So I think, we're going to have to be really creative to create a new form of gaming on crypto. I think, one model is you just build stuff on Amazon Web Services, and then you just keep an NFT on a blockchain like Solana or whatever. And I think that's one of the sometimes common misconceptions when someone says built on Solana, built on Sui, built on Aptos, built on Avalanche. They think that the thing's actually running on that blockchain. What's really happening is the game, metaverse, social media, or whatever is running on Amazon Web Services, and they're just keeping a token or an NFT on the blockchain. Internet computer is different. So what we're interested in is something that's more immersive. I think there's a lot of potential. I can tell you this.
Before he continues his point here, this is correct. We see all other blockchains advertise that the games are on Solana, on Avalanche, on whatever. It is a little bit misleading because I think that not even the NFTs are hosted on chain. Usually it's only the token that's being hosted on chain. On the Internet Computer Protocol, on the other hand, everything starting from the token to the NFTs to the game assets and literally everything can be hosted directly on chain.
A guy who's a friend of mine, who I met actually as a result of creating a computer game, but he's actually a big crypto guy now, but he's a very famous games guy. He built a sort of seminal early MMO, had more than 100 million users, and he's been building something on the Internet Computer for a couple of years now in stealth. So there are, very big, I believe that's going to be hugely successful. The guy's a genius. So watch this space. I truly believe we're going to see some of the biggest games in the world running on the Internet Computer within the next year.
Wow, that's.
If you're a regular watcher of this channel, you know that the game that Dominic Williams is talking about is, of course, Dragons, one of the most successful and one of the most promising games that are currently being built on the Internet Computer Protocol. A lot of us in the ICP community believe in this project and it has already made great returns. But I think by the end of 2024 and the beginning of 2025, when the bull run is in full motion, I think that this game, Dragons, is going to also be huge.
That's going to be great for user adoption into crypto.
Yeah.
Buzzword of the year, AI. What's going on with AI? With you guys?
Well, as always, I think it's very difficult for people outside the industry to really understand what people mean. So a lot of blockchains now are saying, well, they're supporting AI. What they really mean is, someone's created a plugin that connects them to ChatGPT, right?
Yeah.
So, Internet Computer addresses things at a more fundamental level. We want AI to be running on the internet. So, but by the end of this year, we're aiming to have something called AI compute units running within the internet computer.
Wow.
And obviously they'll be Web3 integrated. It won't be an AI integration, it'll be AI on the internet computer. We hope to see some large language models running, and we expect people will use stable diffusion and things like that, like mid-journey kind of stuff to generate metaverse content and so on. So we're excited about that. And the internet computer will provide a different flavor of AI in a sense, because firstly, it'll be Web3 integrated, and with the multi-chain capabilities of the internet computer, that will mean that, for example, Ethereum developers will have direct access to AI via their smart contracts. But AI compute units on the internet computer can do some interesting things, like keeping models and data separate, so you can have a kind of open market where anyone can make their data available for use by people training models. So you can imagine somebody in Vietnam, for example, might create a database of manga art that's labeled, and they might rent that to people who want to train AIs, for example, to create avatars in the metaverse, right? Wow. Now, obviously, the person who's creating the model that generates the avatars doesn't want to share the model, and the person who's creating the database of art that trains the AI doesn't want to share it. But the internet computer will be able to keep these two things separate, which we think is going to be incredibly important. And then if you go forward another few months, like 18, 24 months from now, we expect to have AI smart contracts. And the reason that's taking longer, true AI smart contracts, is that you can't use floating point. You have to use integer quantization, because floating point is non-deterministic. I'm probably getting too technical, but anyways, we're solving the problems, and hopefully full AI smart contracts, which you can use for medical large language models and things like that, 18, 24 months away.
Amazing.
Being able to host AI on-chain comes with a host of benefits. I did a podcast in the past where we went over some of the benefits of having AI hosted on-chain, and those were the fact that you could not tamper with the information that the AI is spitting out, like it happens with ChatGPT. Like Dominic said here, it would allow you to rent a data set that you own for other people to train their AI models on without having to actually give them access to the data. There are a few huge benefits for having AI hosted on chain, especially with AI being so huge in the upcoming bull run.
So we're here in Zurich. Was it you're based in Zurich for a good amount of time now? Was it what was the attraction of coming to Switzerland? I mean, we found it super professional. Was it great experience for us? What attracted you here?
Well, all of that, of course. I mean, originally, I'll be honest, some of the advantages weren't even apparent. We wanted to create a foundation to pursue, a not-for-profit foundation to pursue the internet computer. Like, if you had a for-profit company, it wouldn't be the internet computer. Like, if the internet was owned by Microsoft, it wouldn't be the internet. It'd be something else. It'd be the information superhighway or something. So I think, in fairness, Ethereum pioneered this approach, and they created a Swiss foundation. So we kind of copied that. The difference with Dfinity is that we have a very substantial presence on the ground. We have a research center in Zurich, and that has 140 full-time employees. Wow. Globally, we have 270 plus. So, more than half are actually, working full time in just one research center in the center of Zurich. So we need to hire very, very technical people. We have the biggest team of famous, well-cited cryptographers in the world.
Wow.
And that came about because we hired the head of crypto research at IBM European Research, which is in Zurich. And then a whole bunch of IBM cryptographers came across, and then we quickly started pulling in people from Google. So Dfinity, I believe, is the biggest Swiss employer of ex-Google research people. And, it's a kind of tech hub. It's got tech hub potential for sort of deep tech, because Zurich is Google's second biggest hub outside Mountain View. And most of the people they employ there are pretty technical. So, it's been great for us with respect to finding the kind of real hardcore talent that we need. And it's a very nice environment for people who are working on deep tech. You got the lake, you can go skiing in the winter, lots of restaurants and bars. Everything's quite small. There aren't that many distractions. Lifestyle's good. But the reason we're there, other than that we wanted to create a not-for-profit foundation, and Switzerland provided that sort of organizational structure. The reason we're there is the talent.
We are so used to crypto projects only having like 1, 2, 3 team members working on a project, and most of them being marketers. The Dfinity Foundation has over 270 team members, and most of them are engineers and researchers that Dfinity has taken from top companies like Google and IBM. And I think that people ignore and underestimate what 270 plus people can do if they all work together on something.
What tips could you give to entrepreneurs?
Don't be an entrepreneur. No, I mean, seriously. I've been an entrepreneur for like 30 years. And so I've been through all, it's certainly much easier to raise money than it used to be. I mean, that's why I moved from Europe to Silicon Valley, because it was just so difficult raising money in Europe. Look, I'll give a bunch of lessons, or maxims, whatever. First of all, right, remember, it's much easier to surf a wave than paddle out. Always look for the wave.
Great tip.
Unless you're surfing a wave, everything's incredibly difficult. As an entrepreneur, one of the most important things you can do is look for the wave. Now, crypto is a wave, and it still is. It's going to expand. We're in a bit of a crypto winter now, but it's going to explode again. AI is obviously a wave. Go to the waves. That's where everything's easiest, and that's where you can raise money, and that's where you can find customers, and that's right. So that'd be my first suggestion. It took me years to get that right.
We're currently living in the easiest time ever in the history of humankind to raise money and to start whatever project you have in mind and whatever vision you have. And crypto truly is one of the best places to get funds for your project.
I battle away in one area or another without realizing that if I was in another area where the wave was, I could just surf in. And so it's kind of, that's the first piece of advice. Second piece of advice, don't let the bad guys in. If you're in tech, at the moment you start producing anything valuable, you magnetize bad people. And if they get in, they start doing politics and bad stuff. So just be careful of that one. What else? Just remember that an MBA doesn't equip you to be a startup entrepreneur, right? Because, what you do in a corporate is very different to what you do in a startup. A corporate is really farming land that was won many years ago, right? Okay, you've got a regular cycle for the crops, you've got to distribute the fertilizer, decide who plows the field, distribute resources, assign responsibilities, etc. But you're farming land that was won a long time ago. Startup's very different. You have nothing. Even when you have something, you don't really necessarily have something. You can lose it quickly. It's a battle zone, right? And in tech, what a lot of people in Europe especially miss is that you can build something and you can even make it a good business with respect to revenues and things like that. But, safety is only achieved when you dominate your sector. And that's the whole game in tech. Can you expand? Can you reach that point of safety? And, if you look at the Facebook in the early days, they were losing money hand over fist because of the hosting costs. They got saved because they were about to go bankrupt. They got saved because Rupert Murdoch bought MySpace and created a market for people to realize there's money in social networks. Eventually, those guys, dominated the social networking segment, and they lost a lot of money as they got there. But once they got there, they could pretty much print money. That really is your objective, I think, as a tech entrepreneur. Markets consolidate. With respect to blockchain, there aren't going to be I think there are thousands of blockchains now. There's going to be a handful of big blockchains in the end, right? And they'll be worth a lot of money. But if you're in blockchain, as an entrepreneur, really that's your objective, right? And I think that's also true in nearly every other sector. Chat. There's actually quite a few chat apps, but not that many when you think about it. So, if you're a tech entrepreneur, remember that, it's growth at all costs. Try and dominate your sector. That's how you win. And if anyone thinks about being an entrepreneur, just remember it's a war zone. It's not like the corporate world. An MBA doesn't prepare you for it. Yeah. Every single problem. I always hoped that my experience dealing with problems would sort of equip me for later startups. The problem is that you're hit with different problems every time, right? So, that's it really.
Cool.
But good luck to anyone who wants to become an entrepreneur. And also look at Web3, by the way. I mentioned the waves. Web3 is the next wave. Become a Web3 entrepreneur. That's where the action is next.
Cool. Thank you so much. Look forward to posting this one. Cool.
Thanks, Philip.
Cheers.
Great insights from the man himself. I can only imagine the amount of stress that this man has been under, but congratulations. When it works out, it works out. I think that we will see a lot of Internet Computer Protocol getting adopted. Everybody will be talking about the Internet Computer Protocol in the end, whether they want or not. I think this was a great interview. It's really nice when it goes full circle and whatever Dominic has said has turned to reality. So I'm really looking forward to see what will happen in 2024. The price of ICP, which I think is what most people care about, is also starting to be more in line with the technology and the innovations that Internet Computer Protocol is bringing to the table. So I think it's going to be a good 2024 and 2025. Let me know in the comment section below if you have any suggestion. I will leave the link to this video in the description for everybody who wants to watch it without being interrupted by me and my commentary. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.